This is my Tormek 1200 sharpening system. I've had this sharpener for over 10 years now, and I've used it a fair bit. 3 or 4 days ago I decided it was finally time to change the stone. I decided to strip it all down before I ordered the new stone, just to make sure that everything was alright, and I found a major problem. So when I came to remove the stone, I found that I couldn't get it off. It was actually fused onto the spindle. It took me about 2 hours to get the stone off the spindle, and in the process I damaged the thread on the spindle. I did everything right. I had a nut on it when I was trying to tap it through and all that sort of thing, but it's obviously not very strong steel because it kind of stripped the thread to a certain extent anyway. And eventually I managed to get the stone off the spindle, and this is what I found. It was actually rusted in, and you can see this end is extremely bad where the washer was. When I got down to the plastic bearing, it looked like there was going to be a problem. It was all pitted here as well. So I decided to completely strip out the spindle. And that is what I found. Now this is the bearing, and as you can see that's completely shot. There is supposed to be play on this bearing, but that's ridiculous. So it's completely worn. So I carried out a bit of research online and decided that rather than buy a new Tormek, which was certainly something I was considering, that probably the best option for me would be to buy a new spindle. The new spindle comes with a quick release for the stone. It's stainless steel, it comes with new bearings, so I figured that that was the right way to go. It would solve all the problems in one go, and I would get a new stone as well. So basically I would give my tired old Tormek 1200 a new lease of life. So that's what I decided to do. So to fit the spindle you have to strip down this left hand side, so remove the pin and the washer, and this is a left hand nylon bearing. Leave them to the side, take out the old nylon bearing. Just as a matter of interest, you can see that bearing is in a much better state than the other one. The bearing just slots in to the hole there, slide the shaft through and through the other side, put this bearing in, they just basically push in, then the washer and the pin. That is the drive wheel. This is the motor spindle. The motor spindle runs on this rubber ring which is on the edge of this wheel. And that is how you get the massive reduction in speed. So if you look, this has got a slotted insert for the pin so you know which way it goes. You might have to adjust the motor slightly to get it on. Just pull it down out of the way and slide it on, and then the pin's actually located now. There. I've just noticed that I think I've made the wrong decision here. This leather honing wheel has got a crack in it now. I've got absolutely no idea how that has happened. It's got cracks all over it. There's a crack going up virtually the full radius there, and then there's another crack going up there and a smaller one there. That is so disappointing. So you'll notice there are 2 lugs on the leather honing wheel. You'll see that there are 2 holes there. The lugs go into those holes. This extends the spindle, so this adds 2 more leather discs. This one is used for honing the inside edge of gouges, and this one the inside edge of V-tools. And then we'll nip that up. Doesn't need to be over tightened. Will do. And coming back to this side, take off the quick release. Have to put that bearing back in again. Just look at that. I've just noticed another crack, and this is in the case this time. It originates here where the lug goes for the bearing. It carries up, goes across, and it finishes up at the switch. I just find that so disappointing. It would have been better for me now, knowing that, it would have been better for me to buy a new machine. It's too late now. It cost me £130 for the parts, so it's not a cheap process. The washer goes on, so the stone just slots onto the spindle, making sure that you don't push this side out when you slot it on. And then this new easy lock system means you just go up to the spindle and that's it. So long as you can get your old stone and spindle out, replacing them with new ones is a very quick process. So a new stone is an SG200, and the stainless steel spindle is part number MSK200. So that is really disappointing. I'm pretty sure that the thing will still work. Hopefully it won't cause any problems with inaccuracies, but it shows you how easy it is to change the spindle and the stone, which obviously if you've got one of these older machines it might be worthwhile thinking about. It's just designed to fail. If you've got a whetstone on there all the time It's soaking wet through, it doesn't get dried. Nobody's going to be undoing the nut every time and taking the stone off every time they're finished with it and giving this a dry. So over time they're bound to fill. So my advice would be that if you've got one of these machines and it's got one of these old spindles on, I would spend the £50 and replace it before you end up with problems. Anyway, I hope you found this of some use, and thank you for watching.